Welcome to the latest episode of this week's Acca, sponsored by Skybet Acca Freeze. I'm Tom, joined by Jake, and if you're on YouTube, Jimmy doing the pistols there to deliver our selections. We're back to our usual format for the weekend action. There's no League 1 and League 2 action. There is FA Cup though, so we'll be looking to make our picks around the 10-1 marker as ever. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on the YouTube video or through the Sporting Life social media channels. And remember, keep it fun. Never bet more than you can afford. This podcast is 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. I'm not feeling great today, so I'm going to need you two to carry this podcast as ever, which is great news for listeners, because I won't be talking much on this one. To those comments that we mentioned there, we'll start with James Johnston on YouTube. Can you recap your last week Acca performance?
Oh, yeah, with great delight.
Great. Was it midweek and the week before? I can't remember what happened. Take it away, Jake.
Yeah, midweek. We'll start with that. There was, it was a small slate. No excuse really. We called quite a few of the games wrong, but the market moved.
I thought you were going into a bit of a manager mode there.
Yeah.
No excuses there. We weren't allowed to word up to it.
I mean, I can carry on if you like. Yeah.
Apologies to the fans who came along and travelled.
We have been
issuing refunds.
We've been training hard the last couple of days just to make sure we get back on track. But it is worth noting. I know it doesn't mean anything. We want to win actual bets, but the lines moved ridiculously in our favour. Just take the Wednesday. Arsenal, we tipped them up at 7-5. They went off at even money. Everton, we tipped them off at 11-10. They went off at 1-2. On the Tuesday, Middlesbrough 4-5. They went off at 1-2 as well. So. Yeah, we went on our own in thinking that those teams were going to win, but yeah, I think the Arsenal one was probably the biggest bitter pill to swallow for me, because I was quite confident that they'd be able to go there and get the result after what we've seen from West Ham. But yeah, and the previous Saturday was it was never winning. I think Barnsley went 1-0 down after 4 minutes, and that kind of set the tone for the whole Acca. So yeah, hopefully we'll put on a better showing this time around. Like I said, we've been training hard. And we've got a little bit something different to get teeth stuck into with the FA Cup.
Gareth Jones on YouTube said, have you guys ever thought about doing a draw Acca, 2 to 3 games? That's where the money's at.
The Gareth Jones?
Yeah, funny enough, that's our boss at Sporting Life as well. We're not sure if it's him. But,
well, he's my boss's boss.
So
he's my grand boss.
Yeah, George asked me about this, actually, when we were looking at the comments in the week. Said, what do you think? And I said, I don't know, to be brutally honest. So I was going to chuck across to you, Jim Rod.
What?
I want
whether we should do a draw Acca.
Do you do draw Accas? I just
don't
like them.
I think they're stinky. Although I did tip the draw on Monday in the Championship game. It's one of them, didn't know what to tip. Both draw a lot of games, just go for that.
Won, didn't they?
Yeah. So
that's why we don't tip draws.
That's why I think it's a non-starter. Sorry, Gareth.
It's a value play.
No, you get big prices.
You get
big prices, but I don't know if it's value and what you're cheering on.
That's it.
Nothing.
Yeah. Stay 0-0, please. Yeah, it's definitely that, I think, as to why we don't get too involved in the draws. It's just entertainment purposes. Like, it's the same as why people back over goals rather than under goals, because they want to see that goal. They want to see entertainment. They want something to cheer on, rather than just cheering on player X to kick the ball out in the 93rd minute to keep it 1-1. I mean, people will enjoy that still, I guess.
I enjoy that a lot.
But yeah, it's for the purposes of this podcast. I don't think we'll be tipping any draws anytime soon.
Yeah.
Go on.
No.
I'll let you. No, nothing to add?
Yeah. On draws, it's just not something you'd back. If you want big prices, there's other ways to find big prices.
Centre backs.
Oh yeah.
Player braces.
I knew you're all over that. So yeah, as we say there, get in touch on the YouTube comments. Sporting Life Football on social media as well, at Sporting Life FC. If you've got any comments to make about the podcast, any questions you want to ask us. On to this week then. I have got a load of games because I love the FA Cup. I've barely looked at the Premier League or the Championship.
Sweet Jesus.
Don't care for it. Waste of time, those ones, isn't it? The FA Cup. I was going to say, who wants to open us? Shall I just give you one?
You go, man.
Can I guess one of your teams?
Is
that allowed? Allow it, please.
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, and I'll say.
Chester 6-4 at home to York.
No.
You kidding me?
No.
All right.
I'll let you explain that one in a bit. But do you just want a short price home team that we can just all back and get on with life?
Yeah.
I reckon Jimmy's got this. It just seems like the type of game you'd have. Stevenage to beat Tranmere at 4-7.
Oh, yeah.
Been left and right over
There you
here,
go.
yeah.
Everyone says it. Very simple fact. 2 leagues apart. Stevenage are 6th in League 1. Only one home defeat, I think, so far to Oxford. Tranmere, second bottom of League 2, lost to every away game.
1 league apart.
1 league apart, yeah. Did I say 2?
Could
Well,
be
League One
2
and
by the
League
end of the
2.
season.
They're 2 leagues.
The-
So they're
But they're not 2 leagues
apart.
apart.
No, they're 1
Don't
league
confuse
apart.
me because this has been frying my head when I was trying to work out how.
Stevenage are in League 1, Tranmere in League 2, but Stevenage are 6th in League 1, Tranmere are 23rd in League 2, so they're nearly 2 leagues apart.
Yeah.
About
Nearly
36
3.
teams between them.
Yeah.
Um,
To me, I don't really want to say too much more on this. It's
Yeah.
a straightforward one to me.
I like it. Just add a few extra lines in there. Tranmere, just generally a bad team, but second bottom of League 2. But away from home, they're even worse. They've lost 8 of 8 in League 2
not
away from home.
Even a point away from home.
And yeah,
Consistent.
looking at the XG data, they're actually rock bottom in terms of the away XG table as well. So the performances away from home have been as bad as results suggest. And Stevenage, yeah, like you said, lost once at home. They beat Derby last time out at home, which is, I know Derby aren't great shakes at the minute, but they were pre-season favourites for the league. And yeah, they actually have the second best home underlying data in the league behind only Portsmouth. So they're a really strong home team against a really weak away team. And yeah, it's just a bit of an open goal. Maybe too much.
Do you want to say anything on Steve Evans? This is your floor.
I
Just
just,
say whatever you want on him.
I just did Google how much does he weigh. Inconclusive results, I'm afraid,
That's
but
Joey Barton.
They
get him in. Let's stop talking.
yeah, they
about
got a
it.
good
They're
cup win,
in.
didn't they, last year? I backed Aston Villa to win the FA Cup, and they did up at Villa Park in the third round, so that went very well.
What price are we talking at the minute?
7.
4 to 6
About-
market leaders.
Yeah, 4 to 6.
Yeah.
That's well above like the 1 to 2 roughly threshold that we consider the shortest to go at. Happy? Nothing more to say.
Move on. Get them in.
Excellent then. The first pick of this week's Acca. We're taking Stevenage to beat Tranmere in the FA Cup at a shortish price of 4 to 7. So I usually ask a quiz question at this point, but I'm blaming the illness that's plagued me for the week for my lack of preparation. But coming to the rescue, Jimmy the Punt.
Yeah.
You have declared during that little break there that you can ask us a quiz question. So take it away. I'm looking forward to being on the other end of this. Go for it.
The other end of Jim Rod. A lot of people look forward to
Might
Jim
have-
Rod.
We're going to have to edit that out, I think. Carry on.
No, this one comes straight from the dome. I heard it on the radio.
Ooh.
Still listen to it sometimes. Most goals in the FA Cup history, all-time top goal scorer.
Oh, what, player or team?
Player.
Ooh.
Shall we do the... We'll do the top 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, that's all you got for now.
Okay, fair enough. Just the question to start us off then. Yep. You've got to think of some clues as we go on
I
to
know
try
some
and
clues.
direct us to it.
Yeah.
Great. So, the first selection of this week's Acca. My God, he's already gone for guesses. Maybe.
Let's
Let's
guess.
see it. The first selection we got this week's Acca was straightforward. We had all three of us had it. Stevenage to beat Tranmere. Who wants to claim second?
Me.
Okay, I was wondering if you're fist pumping or putting your hand up, but you can
It's
have
a bit of both. Yeah, Notts County at home to Crawley, another odds-on home team in the FA Cup. Notts County's 6th best home team in League 2, 2 League 2 teams, based on the underlying data. They've won 6, lost 2. The defeats came against 3rd place Wrexham and 4th place Mansfield, so the only decent teams have beaten them at home. And Crawley, their form's just dropped off a cliff recently. Winless in 5 League 2 games. They've lost 4 of those. Won just 1 of 7 away from home. And if you take the underlying data again, they actually rank as the 4th worst travellers in League 2 based on expected goals, with the usual suspects below them: Sutton, Tranmere and Morecambe, surprisingly. So it kind of shows you how bad Crawley have been away from home, shipping over 2 expected goals against per game. I think this is a Notts County team that will want a run in this cup competition, and potentially get a big team in the next couple of rounds. And I don't think Crawley will be too interested or up for it. And I just think there's a bit of a gulf between these two teams. I think Crawley are kind of falling back to that pre-season expectation that you set, Tom, where you were kind of fancying them to be in and around the bottom 2, bottom 3. And Notts County, I think they've had a couple of bad results recently, but they've come against very good teams, and I don't think Crawley are at that level.
I looked at this game and I did have it written down, but then I think Notts County have got a bit of a injury problems at the moment. I think in the centre mid area. I think it's something. I saw something like that. Maybe they've got 1 senior fit centre mid. I after the latest round of games, and there's a bit of panic amongst obviously the fans, understandably, that there's not going to be a great deal they can do about it until January / if there's decent free agents.
Dave McGoldrick in midfield.
I don't know. I'm worried. Will that affect their longer term chances in the fact that they can't really defend either? But individual games, would you take them to beat Crawley, Jimrod?
I don't know. What do Notts County usually do in cup competitions? Do they make changes? What do they do?
Don't know.
They're your team. You need to know.
Oh, it's the first round of the FA Cup, and they've had a free week, so I would expect a fully fit team, a full complement as to what they've got available. Yeah, and they don't, they've got a midweek game in the EFL
I don't want
Trophy
speculation.
This,
I'm having to Google this now. I thought you'd come prepared.
No, if it was in between, like if there was a League Two game midweek and a League Two game the following week, then I obviously would expect changes. But they've had a full week, and I don't think that any team will make changes in this. I
think
the FA Cup.
Particularly mentioned there's some injury issues. How much can they rotate?
Exactly, yeah.
To be honest, how much can they? And their form's been a bit iffy at the moment, so is it just a chance just to win a game and just to keep the winning momentum, trying to get that going again? Would be the one thing I might say about Notts County.
Yeah, you say the form's been iffy. It hasn't really. Like they lost to Mansfield. That was a bad result, obviously. But as I say, Mansfield are probably the best team in the league at the moment, and Wrexham are massively improving. And in between that, they beat Newport and beat Gillingham. And I think Crawley are probably a team that are well below.
Wrexham and Mansfield were at home, weren't they?
Did you see Wrexham's opening goal? Quite late on, it's shot from the edge of the box. There's a guy on the floor. It's looped up, deflected off him, looped up over the keeper.
It's my Puskas winner.
And have you seen the second goal as well? Goalkeeper route one.
He kicked it in the goal, didn't he? If I remember correctly.
It would have been topped by that potential own goal in the Cambridge game. Do you see this? He just absolutely levers it back.
Yep.
And they deflect over. That would have been the goal of the season.
Yeah, that would be beauty.
I'm willing to hear other suggestions just because I'm not too sure.
I think this is a nailed on.
Injury conundrums at the moment would be the only thing.
So, sorry, because I had to do all the flipping legwork myself because you didn't prepare properly. I just looked last season. They didn't make it to the first round, lost in the fourth qualifying round, which I believe is when the National League Conference is introduced. So 1 game, 1 defeat. That was against Colville. Anyone any information on Colville? I don't know what level they're at.
That was last season, Jim. This is this season.
Yeah, but
feels like they're in the
managers. This is the beauty of cup competitions, because if you just scratch the surface a little, you can get a feel of what managers usually do.
Colville.
Coalville.
It's Leicestershire. There you go. That's what I can tell you about Colville.
Well, that's all.
And they beat Notts County in the cup.
It's enough to leave a sour taste in my mouth, though. I'm not confident they're going to take this cup competition seriously. So yeah, we'll put a pin in it. Can I take you back to Chester? Is that all right?
Talk to me about Chester. I know nothing on this, so I'm happy just to sit back and let you tell me more.
Chester 6-4 best price, host York. Now the hosts do interest me here. York's last win came in the last round, where they laboured past Suffolk Premier side Needham Market. It says they're step 7 in the pyramid, but I'm not sure exactly how far below the conference is. I didn't want to speculate. Does anyone know how far it is?
Conference is 5, right?
Yeah, but step 7 below. Step 7 of the non-league pyramid, I think.
What?
Is it like Northern Counties, Southern Counties, like that level?
Just confusion for me. I'm not exactly sure, but step 7 listeners might know. Anyway, they laboured past them. It took they beat them 1-0 in the second leg, not second leg, the replay, sorry. 0-0 in the first, 1-0 in the second, and that was only their 4th win of the season and their last win to date. Speaking to friends of the pod and long-time admirers, Heslop and James Cooper, they went to York, their game against Halifax, 1-1 that finished at the weekend, and they said York was dreadful, really poor. In terms of leagues between them, Chester are in the National League North, so there's 1 division between them, but York are towards the bottom and Chester are towards the top, so there's actually 9 places. Now I know the gulf between the North-South and the conference is ever widening with the financial clout available to those in the conference, but I don't think the gulf in between these two sides is as big as the odds suggest.
Look at the top line there. Chester have been winning a lot of games. Obviously, you know a lot more about the National League kind of teams than I do, but on the surface, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8 of the last 9 Chester have been wins. The only caveat I'd have is I don't know enough about it. I say this like I'm not going to suggest some non-league ones. I think there is another game with one team who are the league below another team that probably does open up more value. I'm happy to consider this later if we need a price booster. That's what I will say.
Cheers, Duffman.
No worries. Second one, we still need a second one. Has anyone else got any others I can bring to the table?
Yep.
Or I get into my massive long list?
Notts County.
Okay, we've talked about Notts County.
Still Notts County. Yeah, I just look, Crawley, they got knocked out in the first round as well against Accrington last time, 4-1 last season.
Just drop Notts County, would you? They're not going in, all right? Just leave it.
They might go in because I just think that price. Swindon at home to Aldershot. Do you like that?
Ooh, Aldershot are going all right, aren't they? Was the only
Lost
issue.
6 of 9 away from home. Season Aldershot, so they don't travel well.
What's Swindon's price?
1-2.
Yeah, I looked at that and I thought I don't know enough and I can't bother to look into Aldershot's form.
Swindon at home, I think that price is quite big. For a team league below, they've won 5 out of 7 at home this season, and the home process is really strong. So I had Swindon down. Those were the 3 FA Cup games I had down: Swindon, Stevenage, and Notts County, all fairly short home teams. Don't know enough about the rest of them to kind of get involved in really, and I just trust in Swindon to be able to score a couple of goals, get past Aldershot.
The one I may bring to the table is at 10 to 11, so we're pushing even money, which does take the double at 2 to 1. What about Leyton Orient to beat Carlisle? It's an FA Cup fixture. This was one that I had written down. Leyton Orient last season, I think, went out at the first time of asking, but obviously in a promotion charge, and they put out a pretty strong team when I was looking. There wasn't a great deal of changes in that one. They're now unbeaten in the last 5, although 3 of those have been draws. So the better the chance against Barnsley in that game, better chance against Northampton as well. They've won 2 of the last 3 at home, and they play a Carlisle team who we've spoken a lot about on this podcast. They've lost 3 of the last 4. I think they've lost 3 of the last 4 away as well, and they've only won 1 away this season in 8. I've looked at the League One form there, but I was kind of drawn towards that, even though it's a cup competition that they're both in the same division. To me, it's just a price that jumps out. I think in the FA Cup, when you get 2 teams playing each other who are in the same division, it does add a bit of protection in my mind to that in terms of the rotation. You're not seeing that, okay, we're playing a team lower down the pyramid, we can make some changes, we're making ourselves vulnerable. I like the price a lot. This to me is one of those that, you know, we want to add in around that even money mark to boost it up, and that takes the double to 2 to 1 if we add this in with Stevenage. It's again another home team, a contrasting alright home team, pretty bad away team. I'd have no issue whatsoever in including this in the Saturday coupon Acca. Thoughts, please?
I initially thought I don't want to go near it because Carlisle have shafted us 3 times already this season. Whenever we've tipped against Carlisle, we've got a result. But then I just had a look, and just from a price perspective, Leyton Orient went off as favourites away at Carlisle only 3-4 games ago. They were around 6 to 4 to win at Carlisle. That would suggest that, you know, on a neutral venue, you'd expect them to be maybe, I don't know, 13 to 10-ish, something like that. And at home, probably around the even money odds on mark. And yeah, as you mentioned, Carlisle away from home are generally quite tragic.
I think they limited them to 1 effort on target in that game as well.
Yeah, they are. They're a team that struggle to create chances. Full stop, Carlisle. But away from home, less than 1 expected goal for per game. Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I hadn't looked at that game too closely, but yeah, you've kind of won me over potentially looking to include it.
I think it's a good price booster. I think it does give us some freedom then to play around a little bit. I don't know, this price just looks right, but it looks appealing.
Just as like a general question, like when you're looking at these kind of ties, are you like, do you have any more, not, I won't say bias, but are you more comfortable backing a team that's kind of comfortable mid-table as opposed to a team that's near the bottom? Just because they're, you know, Carlisle might look at this and they're in the relegation, then they might be like, well, we want to get out of the cup competition. Not get out of it, but Leyton Orient are kind of comfortable. You know that they can take this probably quite seriously and maybe make a run.
I think the Cup's different. The FA Cup's different to the League Cup, though, in that there's incentive to be in the FA Cup. That's the big thing about it, isn't it? Not just financials, obviously more significant, and it is a significant amount when you get through the rounds. And the fact then that you're potentially 2 games away from a genuine blockbuster game, that's a significant factor. It's also that it's not as if, as Mansfield and Port Vale and teams like that have found out you're playing midweek and then you're playing again. You're doing your Saturday, Tuesday, and everyone else is kind of having that off. You're playing it. At this point, you're still playing until you get to the 4th round where you're having to rearrange fixtures. I mean, en masse when you get there. You've got designated weekends to play these games. It's not additional games. These are already planned in. I just can't see why teams wouldn't take it seriously at this point, because it's not like it's a hindrance on your chances. It's a serious incentive to try and get as far as you can. And when you get another team who you know are on your level, and at this top point, if you're in League One, you're very rarely going to get anyone better than you at this point. You may as well make the most of it, and then it's a good chance to get to the 3rd round where, so you can get at that point. You can get Man United away, although, if they count, as long as they're counting the ticket sales at the start and not in the 70th minute when everyone's left, you're going to get a lot of money out of that. It's got to be an important objective to get far in this.
So on all that you said there, why can't we include Notts County? Same
Shut
league,
up about Notts County, would you?
far better team,
Injury
motivation factor
problems
to get through the rounds.
Injury issues are there for me on Notts County. That's the only thing that's getting there for me.
Yeah, back to the game at hand. A very interesting point about league position, because Carlisle are a point above the drop, but they played a game more than Fleetwood. Leyton Orient, there's real daylight, to be fair, between them and the relegation zone. I wasn't sure how they'd fare in the 3rd tier, but I feel like the chances rise for them to go relatively strong in this fixture. My only concern is Carlisle. I'm not sure what side they're going to field, but my intuition would be, given the state of affairs domestically, that they're not going to go strong. So, yeah, 3 crucial things for me was the price. They went off Leyton Orient favourites, like you said, away from home recently. They're at home now. They're gathering a bit of momentum. Carlisle in a world of trouble domestically. So, are you confident?
Yeah, I've opposed Carlisle a lot on this because, I said it before, nothing's changed. They're not creative. They're not scoring loads, so well done to someone scoring 4 in this game now. It's the same reason I keep going back to, there's a reason I kind of always look towards them. And this fixture, to me, the price, I would have thought it would have been a little bit shorter, is all. And it's just a nice price, and then you get a bit of freedom to play around on the last 2 selections. That is my pitch for having Leyton Orient to beat Carlisle to make the 2nd round of the FA Cup. What are we thinking?
Get him in.
Yeah, get him in, yeah.
All right, let's do it then. Jim Roll, I'm going to chuck back to you. You got any clues for this question yet? Have you thought of any while we're in that thing? Before we move on.
Yep. So the top goal scorer all time in the FA Cup, he's currently 62 years of age. Obviously still not playing in the FA Cup. 74 apps, 42 goals. He started his career as an apprentice at Chester in 1979, and he finished it at Wrexham in 1998. A career peaked at Liverpool, then he went to Juventus for a failed spell in Italy, and then came back with Liverpool, Leeds, Newcastle, Sheffield United, before winding up in Wrexham.
I know the answer.
Yep. I know I've given it away, but because it's so long ago, I feel like I needed to go in heavy with those.
That's fair
clues.
enough.
Yep.
That's it. So we'll consider that. We'll get the answers towards the end. I think I've got the first one, but there's 2 that we need to work out. So God knows on that.
That's the top goal scorer.
This week's Acca then so far, 2 FA Cup fixtures. We've got Stevenage to beat Tranmere. We've got Leyton Orient to beat Carlisle. We're going to hear a quick little advert break here. So I'm going to chuck to you our goals-related question, the closest round of fixtures that I could quickly find on this day. 3rd of November 2007, Arsenal drew 2-2 with Manchester United. Maybe 4 goal scorers, maybe not. All you can do for the next 30 seconds or so is try and remember in 2007 who scored the goals for Arsenal and who scored the goals for Man United. We'll be back in a second.
One thing we've all got in common is having that one leg of an Acca let us down. From spending your winnings in your head to cursing that last-minute equaliser that broke your heart. But it doesn't have to be that way. Acca Freeze from Sky Bet gives you the power to freeze a winning score early. Even if that team goes on to lose, Sky Bet will settle it as a winner. It's time to take action. It's time to Acca Freeze and end the game your way. Visit skybet.com for full terms and conditions.
2 teams then, 2-1 the double at the moment, are roughly around that marker. I asked you before, give me the goal scorers in Arsenal 2, Man United 2 in November 2007. Would you like to have a guess before we move on? I'll open it to the floor.
Yeah, I'm just going to go remember the name Wayne Rooney Brace, and then the Lord and Saviour Lord Bentner, and Cesc Fabregas.
1 of 4.
Take
Cesc
it.
scored. There's one. Any further advances on that?
Did Anderson score for Man United?
No, one player scored twice.
Ooh, John O'Shea.
No.
You're on the right tracks.
No way.
John O'Shea, no. You're on the right... You're closer with John O'Shea.
Is it Ferdinand or Vidic? Is it
Nope.
those two?
No, the answer is William Gallas scored an own goal.
Oh, nice.
And then Cesc Fabregas made it 1-1. Ronaldo scored in the 82nd minute. And then William Gallas scored on the right end to make it 2-2 in that one.
He's a good man, weren't he, Gallas?
You've teased a big price during that break, Tom.
Oh, aye.
Give me the big price one. Let's do this.
Yeah, Plymouth 3-1. They host Middlesbrough. I know you like to cry when I put a big price forward, but come on.
This is Championship, yeah.
3-1 back to the Championship. Yeah, 3-1 looks absolutely huge, and we could utilise our gracious overlord's superb Acca freeze offer here, where you have the power to freeze any selection.
I've just heard the advert. You don't need to do it again, but carry on.
Yeah, Pilgrims took 12 of the 15 points they've won this season at Home Park. That's the 8th most home points in the division. And there's certainly juice in the price when you consider they went off 5-2 against Norwich. They won 6-2. 3-0 against Blackburn. They were 9-5 in that game. And they lost 3-1 to Swansea, but they went off at 6-4. Borough are gathering momentum for sure. I think they've won their last 5 away on the spin. But this is the first time they've gone odds off away from home this season, and I know their recent form's good, but I'm not sure they justify that price, especially considering their form on the travels is pretty patchy at best. They've won as many games as they've lost, and they drew at Hillsborough, so I really like the price of the Green Army.
Middlesbrough's upturn in form's putting me off, and then they won at Exeter, didn't they, in the week when it looked like they were going to lose. That's the only thing.
Yeah, they made hard work of it.
Are they travelling there?
How the heck are they getting there?
What is the mode of transport? Yeah, I definitely would look at it at maybe a draw no bet personally, just for that bit of security. I do think that Middlesbrough are too short for that. They got well beaten last week by Stoke, and Plymouth at home. Yeah, they are completely different animal to travelling. I mean, I couldn't believe they went off at 5-4 to beat Sheffield Wednesday last week and absolutely hosed in 3-0. So. Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from there. But sticking in the Championship for an Acca selection, I cannot believe...
What have I just put forward there?
Well, you put it's a longish shot.
I hate... Why do everyone goes, ooh, it's a big price. Yeah, we can put big prices in here.
Not that loud. I'm not putting that one in.
Damn it.
Not putting Plymouth in, sorry. Not in this Acca.
Yeah?
I don't know on the game. I don't know.
You like it, don't you?
I think I do. I don't know.
I know.
But then I've got a couple of bigger price ones as well that I fancy a little bit more. Would be all I say.
Yeah. Let's move on to something a little bit shorter. Ipswich at Birmingham, even money.
Yes, I've got these.
Yeah.
This looks like almost too good to be true.
It's a knock-on effect of Birmingham doing well under Eustace, isn't it? I think is the price knock-on here. Yeah. Any other time they'd be like 1-2 or something stupid.
Yeah, I mean, since Rooney's come in, they've obviously lost 3 games. The XG totals in those matches, I'm just going to read them out. 0.25. Yeah, I know you're going to love this part, Jim. Birmingham have created 0.25, 0.61 and 0.6 XG in their 3 matches. So they barely created a chance. And at the other end, 2.01, 1.2 and 2.3.
I think the biggest above all numbers is the video of the fans 2 games in screaming at him.
Yeah.
Politely to leave, should we say?
Politely. Yeah.
I like it because he's sort of clapping sheepishly and they're like, F*** off!
Yeah, it's
back to America, buddy.
That's the bigger picture for me on anything. That any numbers can say that 2 games in an appointment.
They don't want him there.
The appointment that failed to inspire and was just stupid from the onset. And as we talk, that Frank Lampard is potentially going to get the Bristol City job as well. It shows it doesn't matter how hard you work, as long as you've got a name, that will go above all. Carry on.
And just Ipswich, obviously, it doesn't take a genius to look at the league table and see the kind of searing pace they're setting with Leicester. 11 wins from 13 is just bonkers. And it's not fluky at all. The underlying data kind of backs up the solid performances. I just think, put it in perspective. I don't think they're quite at Leicester's level, but if Leicester were playing at Birmingham, what you'd expect them to be around a 4 to 6 kind of price right now. And I'm not saying Ipswich should be that short, but they should definitely be odds on at the very least. So I thought this was get it in material, and they made a lot of changes in midweek for the Carabao Cup, which saw them exit to Fulham. They'll be back to full complement for this, and yeah, I don't know if you've got out to add.
Absolute superb selection and beautifully argued there, Jake.
Cheers, man.
Credit to you.
What was your favourite bit, the XG totals?
Oh, God. Yeah, always. The interesting thing about the transition from Eustace to Rooney is the complete, like, polar opposites in terms of, like, the character of the team, like, their ethos. Like, Eustace, for me, was all about organisation, whereas Rooney's, like, an agent of chaos, really.
Yeah. What is he trying to do?
Yeah, he's just an agent of chaos, and, like, it should come as no surprise to see them floundering. And you look at Ipswich, the only thing I've got to add is I really like the contrast in the home games to the away games. Yeah. Goals at Portman Road, away from home, they've actually unbeaten in 6, but 4 of those 5 victories have been 1-0. Like, they can do it whatever you want, babe. You want a shootout, they can beat you. You want to make it nitty gritty, they'll beat you there as well. So no matter what Birmingham do here, Rooney's more than capable of putting a low block, or we've seen him do low blocks at Derby and stuff, and, you know, try and grind out results. But at Birmingham, they wanted the big name, and they wanted that. What were they going on about? That style of play, the brand, the attacking, exciting brand of football. If he does that, no doubt the Tractor Boys will absolutely paste him as well. So, yep, love this pick.
Yeah, I was surprised it's not the other way around, because surely the logic would be at home, teams are going to come back and sit and try and frustrate them, and away from home, teams are going to bit more initiative on them to attack. So you think it'd be the other way around, whereas it's just absolute pure chaos that teams are seeing their opportunities to score at Portman Road, and they are. But yeah, no issue for me on this. I was just looking while you were talking there. They were 17-20 at Bristol City. They were around evens at Huddersfield. Obviously, Southampton bigger price at Sheffield Wednesday, 19-20. So
how much
the going rate for Ipswich in away games at the moment?
How much better do you think Birmingham are than Rotherham at this moment in time?
God, what an awful question.
Just because Ipswich play Rotherham in midweek, and Ipswich are 4-9 to win that at Rotherham. So if you think Birmingham are only slightly better than Rotherham, then the even money is just huge.
I previewed that game first time round. Maybe I'll just put that preview back out. I can't remember what I did.
Ipswich and unders.
Ipswich and unders. That was it. Go with that one in that game. Do that in this game as well. I have no issue. I'm happy just to include this.
Yeah.
Takes the treble share 5-1.
Let's do it.
Oh, yep.
Happy with that one?
Yeah. Sir.
Third selection then on this week's Acca, joining Stevenage to beat Tranmere and Leyton Orient to beat Carlisle in the FA Cup. We've got Ipswich to beat Birmingham in the Sky Bet Championship, and as I said there, the treble just shy of 5-1. Jimmy, I want another clue to your quiz question here. I've definitely got one of them, but you said to give us the 2 top scorers in FA Cup history. Was that correct? Any clues on the other one?
Oh, yep. So the next up, I'll do the basic stats. He's 45. He's 28 goals, came across 19 seasons in the competition where he made 73 appearances. So
28 goals in 19 years.
Yeah,
correct?
That's correct.
I suppose, to be fair, you're only playing maybe a couple of games a season, aren't you, in this comp, depending on how well you do. Anything else? No.
Yep. I'll give you his clubs.
Ooh.
Not his most famous ones. So West Ham, Swansea, New York City. But in all seriousness, he could be coming back into management soon.
I've got it. I got it when you said the first one, and I've definitely got it now. Back to the Acca then. We'll give some answers towards the end of this one. I have a big price one that, can I just chuck it in and we just get on with life?
Chuck it, yeah.
Yeovil to beat Gateshead 11-5.
I don't know anything about that.
Talk to us about it, please.
Well,
enlighten us.
2 teams, actually, I spoke about the National League there, but 2 teams that, one that I've I had to look up Yeovil when I did that story about finding their shirt in that shop in Bucharest.
Yeah.
And Gateshead, because obviously Mike Williamson left for MK Dons. He was a manager that's kind of on a bit of the short list in the National League when you look at the League 2 vacancies that come up. Since Mike Williamson left, they've drawn with Rochdale, they've been battered 4-0 at home to Fylde. For Gateshead. And Yeovil, not only are top of the National League South, they're top by 6 points. They're on a 10-game unbeaten, or 10-game winning run, I should say, at the moment. Unbeaten at home all season. 10 wins and 2 draws. They're absolutely flying under Mark Cooper, I think it is, there at Yeovil. Unbelievable form. Such full of confidence. And I think obviously it's priced up on Gateshead and where they've been previously, but since Williamson's left, it's only been a couple of games, but they've not won in that period. Instantly, to me, is a price that hugely jumps out to me, that you're taking on a team that they're in the division below, but there is a bit of a step up between the two leagues, of course, but they're in such good form, and of course they've been there recently. I think they beat Gateshead in their home game in the league last year, obviously different circumstances, so they've played very recently, they've been at the level very recently, absolutely flying in the National League South. I love this price at 11-5, and if you're not going to allow me to put it in the Acca, I'm 100% backing it anyway.
Yeah.
It takes the Acca just above 17-1 if you include this. I love this as a price. It, to me, looks a proper... You can't say cup set because there's not too much between them, but to me, this is one of the standout prices in the FA Cup card for Saturday. I love this bet so much. I just love the gamble of taking the red-hot team in the division below to take the vulnerable team and the team in the division above.
I love that you love it.
I love it.
But I just don't know enough.
Wasn't so I'd be more enthusiastic in my voice.
I don't think you would.
I love it.
Super enthusiastic right now. You've made a very good argument, very good case. I know you wrote the piece on Sporting Life about Mike Williamson as well, and singing his praises and what he brought to Gateshead and what he's going to bring for MK Dons. So
I've already hit the ground
turned a
running
corner,
as
haven't they?
well.
Yeah, already. So it kind of shows you what he brought. I definitely wouldn't be putting anyone off getting involved in that. But yeah, I don't know enough about it to kind of put it in an Acca with 3 other selections. There might be a couple of other better prices, better teams knocking around out there.
I know it'd be a tough sell just on the teams involved. I wanted to get it in there anyway as a possibility.
You've been doing a lot of tapping over there. Have you some quick research on Yeovil?
No. No, I was just looking at pictures of Ian Rush. Damn it. Shit. No.
Just give away the answer.
Yeah, I like it. But the you just always shit on my big prices, so I'm going to shit on yours. It's too big.
I was all on board with Plymouth.
You two could have a big price double,
maybe. We could do a Plymouth Yeovil double.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get along with it. Fair enough. Any others that we want to talk about? I will chuck on the table. It is an away side, which makes it problematic. Forest Green go to Scarborough this weekend. They're 4-5. There's a lot of gaps between them in the football hierarchy and the football pyramid at 4-5. And I know Forest Green are obviously bad in League 2, but they beat Colchester, they beat Crawley as well recently. Bottom end League 2 sides.
I'm going to save your voice, stuff, man, because I know you're a sicky boy.
The 16th in National League North, Scarborough.
I'm not getting a bad football league side away from home.
Routine 3-0.
It's not a routine game, is it?
Routine 3-0 win.
It's not a routine game.
Have a bit of a go for 10 minutes. Football League team are miles better than them, despite how bad they are.
This is a massive occasion for Scarborough. I don't know how often they qualify for the first round, but I can't imagine it's often. And they'll be looking at this.
Scarborough, not Alfred.
Scarborough. I said Scarborough, didn't
I was making an Alfredton joke, but carry on.
Get out of here. Yeah, and they'll be looking at this clash with an out-of-form Football League side thinking we've got a massive opportunity to get to the next round. Do you know how much... I say it like I know. Do you know how much winning this round is worth for clubs?
Tell us how much.
I'm sure it's in the region of £40,000.
Are they out of form? They won 2 of the last 3, Forest Green.
Lost 10 or 15 this season. I don't like it.
No.
I'm taking it. They win 3-0. Nothing happens. They all shake hands and move on. Come on, hit me with some suggestions then.
Go on, Jim.
Let's get this to around this 10-1 marker, which I think playing around, 4-7 around that mark takes it to 8-1, so anything a bit bigger than that. 4-6-ish, again, not enough.
Yeah, I can do a bit better than that, and it's the last team I had on my little short list.
Gotta sell this well.
Up to the Premier League, 11-5, Everton to beat Brighton. Defeat for the Seagulls here would mean they've only won 2 of their last 10. First clean sheet came at the 13th attempt against Ajax in the Europa League.
Should we tell him to save his breath as well?
Yeah, cut me off if you're not having it.
I don't hate back in Everton.
No.
Really, it's such a turn of events.
Everton have won 6 of their last
I don't think
10.
they're a bad team now.
Look at the calibre of sides they've beaten as well, and I think that tells you exactly where the Toffees rank at the minute.
Yeah.
Burnley, West Ham, Bournemouth, Villa, Brentford. Donny in the cup. But you look at those, but those that really interest me is that Brentford game. Also the West Ham game where they out West Ham, and they showed that they can beat good sides in the lower block. With Calvert-Lewin back fit and firing, they've really turned the corner. They've got Beto, so they've got depth at the top of the pitch. Yeah, in the last 3 wins, they've scored 7 and conceded none. So
They won't keep a clean sheet against Brighton.
I don't think so.
I think Brighton have had a full week off now. It's the first time in about a month they've had a full week off because of their obviously European commitments. I wouldn't be touching this game personally. I understand where you're coming from. I definitely will be siding with a pro-Everton bet in this game, but I'm just not confident enough to kind of lock in a play on that one. Brighton are just a bit of an enigma at the minute. You don't quite know what you're going to get. They were really good against Liverpool in that 2-2 draw. They were really good in the second half against Man City, and then just really bad against Fulham. Didn't create anything, and you just don't know what you're going to get. So that to me is enough to kind of dissuade me from getting involved on Everton. But I would lean your way.
Duff, man.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
You don't hate a lot today, do you?
I don't hate it this today.
You two do your little Yeovil, Plymouth, Everton treble, and you know.
I don't know.
It's just
I've gone mad before about including Everton, but that was like an odds-on price.
at home as well. Do you know?
No, I just
The other thing that Deitch don't get credit for is really tactically cute, like tweaking his side game by game depending on the opposition. And what Brighton's form shows us is sides have identified. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I don't know. I don't know what sides are doing to beat them, but clearly they've noticed something that works, and I'm sure Deitch will know that as well. I'm sure he will. I think it was the Bournemouth 3-0. Did they put Garner on the right hand side of midfield in like a hybrid role, and he was unbelievable. And that was a tactical weakness of Bournemouth, and they won that game 3-0. So if Deitch is drawn on the Brighton's poor form, I'm sure he'll know of a way to beat him.
Yeah, I like where you're coming from. Like I said, the other issue is Everton played midweek and they played a very strong team in midweek.
Yeah, true.
So is that
seen
gonna
a
have
chance,
bit
to
of
be
an
fair
impact?
to them, Everton.
Of
The
the
real
cup run,
possibility
yeah.
they could get to a cup final.
Yeah.
And how it works out. I mean, one for Gareth there. This could be your draw, Acca. Doesn't look a drawy type game. Don't know, 1-1. We all get on with life. We need a fourth selection though before we can get out of here.
Put one up.
One more that we can be more confident on. I'm running out of teams. So has anyone got anything else? I keep getting. Mine are a bit short price is the only thing.
Or
Or
always put a
away
couple
teams.
in and go for a fivefold.
Could do. I mean, the other one I had was Wickham to beat Bradford at Valley Parade.
Whoa.
Yeah.
McDonald's no longer an interim charge. He's in this. He's,
What's happened?
He's gone back to playing. I think he's obviously focusing on his playing. Thinks of Mark Truman, who's been in caretaker charge before, is back at
Really?
the helm there.
That's even more reason to not avoid Bradford.
Yeah, but you're going to the...
Just
Oh,
pay up.
broke my mic. You carry on. You're going to the caretaker.
Yeah.
Caretaker,
It's just
caretaker.
The fact that
Couldn't care less, take up.
it didn't
So
go-
much unknown,
It
right?
didn't go left. Well, no, it's been there before, and it's not been particularly great. And it's just Wickham in the league above, and I think 1 defeat in the last 5. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd rather take
Uh,
Notts County
In
personally.
a word, yes or no for that one? No. Me no as well. Next one, please.
What else have I got? Accrington to beat Doncaster at 19-10.
No.
Why? Went to Doncaster when they played Grimsby.
Grant McCann, good at managing in the football league.
It's the FA Cup.
Very good.
They are terrible.
You're about Donny to go.
Bad team, Accrington, who lost to Colchester, but I look at the shots, they've absolutely hammered them 30-6 on the shot count. Won their last 3 away. That includes the EFL trophy, though, which I'm including because, as I said before, like the Community Shield, it suits my argument, so I'm including it there. One of those was at Wimbledon as well. It's a huge price, 90-10. I just think they're a better football team than Doncaster. That's it. But I know these are my final selections that are big price ones that people won't get on board with. So we need another one, / 2 more, so we can all get out of here.
How do you feel about Stoke at home to Cardiff?
You know where I stand on Stoke.
Yes.
Don't back them, don't back against them. Is that how you just don't go near them?
Don't go near him. When will you learn? Don't go near Stoke. Just don't do it. There's no point. They'll only break your heart.
Off the M6 onto the A500.
Absolutely
Just
not. They
keep
just break your heart.
driving. Okay. Brentford at home to West Ham.
Yeah, I do like that more. Like, I'm going to talk about data.
Yeah, go on.
Brentford
I'm
are in
so
a false
happy.
position. They're in a false
Big
position,
time,
aren't
yeah.
they? Simple as. And they're actually, I didn't realise that they can mix it up. They're pretty good at going direct, so they could out West Ham.
Yeah. Did you know that they've beaten West Ham in all 4 Premier League games they've played since promotion?
Really? interesting as well. So.
And they're
This
unbeaten
was
in 13
This was
London
one I
derbies as
looked
well.
at, to be honest, in the Premier League. I was kind of looking, it was between Wolves to beat Sheffield United
No.
or Brentford, which I was going to ask you about, but Brentford to beat West Ham, which is a slightly bigger price.
Is the price? What's the price now?
11 to 10, I've got an odds checker.
You drifted after the beating Arsenal. I mean, a shortened at
I
West
mean,
Ham.
yeah, if it was at the London Stadium, it'd be a different
Yeah.
thing, I think, wouldn't it? Whereas West Ham obviously saw them in the Europa League. Was it Olympiacos?
Yeah, they
where
weren't very
lost
good, were they?
there. Wasn't particularly great. 3 of the last 5 away games have been defeats. The wins have been at Lincoln in the EFL Cup against Freiburg, who haven't been going as well as we have seen previously. Yeah, I don't have an issue. Again, another one that I'm
Yeah.
not too much of a problem with, to be honest.
It's another game where you've got a team that played midweek and played a strong team in midweek. Like, they went all out. I don't know if you saw the lineup, but literally played a full strength team. They again saw an opportunity to potentially have a cup run, and caused an upset against Arsenal. Played very well. Admittedly, that was at home, but I say played very well. They had 5 total attempts, 3 on target, scored 3 goals. So probably a little bit of positive variance there. But yeah,
To be fair, that first goal as well, if there was VAR, I think that gets chalked off. So
Yeah.
It took them about half an hour, but straight away you could see that Souček's yanking Ramsdale's shirt off.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those if there was there.
You're like that. Did you not see the XG at half time?
I didn't see the extra after.
Oh, 0, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 0 West Ham, and off the top of my head, I think it was like 0.64 Arsenal, 1-0 West Ham.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ben
Shove
White's-
that up your XG.
But yeah, the team they played, it was full strength. Like, everyone you could think of: Bowen, Benrahma, Paqueta, Kudus, Alvarez, Souček. They all played.
It's the best of the home teams on Saturday. This in terms of in the Premier League. Obviously,
Yeah.
Man City have got Bournemouth, but that's 1-12.
I know
It's
you.
the best of the home teams.
I know you like data from me. I know you absolutely love it. You can't wait for it. Brentford's home form and
Get me away.
Brentford's home form and home process this season and going back all the way to the start of last season has been really impressive. 1.9 XG per game is what they've averaged at home. 1.25 against, so it's a really strong process. And the record since the start of last season, they've only lost 3 of 25 home games, won 12, so very, just under a 50% strike rate, which is probably suggests this odds is about right. And West Ham in the league, if you include that Carabao Cup game as well, they've had real issues creating chances. 0.9 XG, 0.6 XG, 0.6 XG across the last 3 league games. Then if you include the midweek, the piled schedule and everything like that, the fact that they didn't rest and rotate in that midweek game, Brentford have a free week to go. I think 11 to 10 is a really big price for Brentford.
I have no issue. We're happy. I think this could be our 4th pick in the Acca.
We're doing it.
I like it. I'm happy to take this.
Yeah, I like it, yeah.
Do you want to throw Notts County in just to make it a 5?
No.
No, this is fine.
I really want
This is
County.
fine at 11s. You can
Is it 11s?
11s. You're getting the price here. Happy?
Interesting.
I think we're all happy.
I think so, yeah.
Jim Rod, before we leave, recap your question and said clues of question.
Yeah, it's the quiz
And
question.
Get out of here.
So it was the top 2 goal scorers in FA Cup history, players that is. The top one, Liverpool's Ian Rush.
Yes, that was going to be my guess on that one.
Oh, do you want to guess the
Yeah,
second one?
Ian Rush, and the other one is Frank Lampard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, but seriously,
No,
it was
but
really
seriously.
good.
No,
Hi.
but seriously, because that's what he says, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go then. Ian Rush, Frank Lampard.
Yeah, the
That's
list,
right. I'll bring one to next week's episode. I'll be back, hopefully.
the listing actually loading now, but off the top of my head, I think it was John Barnes next.
Mhm.
Wayne Rooney was 5th. I can't remember. Alan Shearer 3rd. John Barnes, Wayne Rooney.
The one Jake showed
Yes.
me on his laptop was Lineker.
Lineker, where was he on
Must
the
be
list?
miles down the list then.
Oh, it's loaded.
He can't be far up, can he?
I'm still scrolling down. I'm at like 20.
Control F, Lineker.
He's not on the first page.
Right, so he's not in the top 25 is what we're saying.
No, he's not.
Fair
How
enough.
did you know the first page was 25?
So it's going to be 25, isn't it? What site are we on?
Transfer market.
25 then. Right. We'll work that out afterwards. Let's wrap up and get out of here.
Yeah, let's
This
get out of here.
week's Acca is as follows. In the Premier League, we're taking Brentford to beat West Ham. In Sky Bet Championship, an away win for Ipswich at Birmingham. And then into the FA Cup, where we've got Stevenage to beat Tranmere. We've got Leyton Orient to beat Carlisle. Pre-boost, that's looking around the 11-1 marker. And as ever, remember to keep it fun, never bet more than you can afford, and please gamble responsibly. Make sure you get in touch with us on social media. Search Sporting Life Football. You'll be able to find us that way, or in the YouTube comments as well, of course. Head over to sportinglife.com/football to find the link to back that accumulator at an enhanced price. And if you haven't already, please follow and rate us on iTunes, Spotify, or the cliched chosen podcast provider. We will be back next week.